Howdy, day 6 Spiel for lesson 5, greenfoot. Let's see what's on the agenda for the day. Alright, here's what you should have so far. Threaded code in your piano world that makes 12 keys using a loop. They play the same key for now. We'll fix that in a little bit. Threaded code in the key class, threaded code in the piano class. And also get rid of the code that plays a note 10 times. That was for fun, but it's fairly annoying. So let's take a look and see what we should have at this point. We should have something like this. When you run it, it creates the keys using the loop. When I hit the G key, I don't know if you can hear it, but all the keys are playing at once. Alright, let's take a look and see what the code looks like. Here's what our piano world looks like. Okay, I'll give you a quick little view of it. You can play that again and see. At any rate, that's the code we should have there. And then if I go into the key, this is the code that we have for the key. Alright, and notice that it's threaded. So notice that my act method is just a method call. Okay, one method call. I've got the check key press. You can call it whatever you want it, but this code goes over here in its own method, and then the play goes in a method. Anyway, that's what we should have so far. Okay, let's keep going. Exercise 5.18. If you want to do this, is a bonus. If you want to do it, you can look in the book and do this one. You don't have to. Okay, so we have a problem. Our code places keys nicely, but each key plays the same note. So we're going to solve this with a new technique we haven't learned before. It's called an array. So the solution is we should use variables for the keyboard key and the sound file name and assign different values to them each time the loop executes. So basically, every time we have our loop that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 times and makes the key. When we make the key, we need to give each key a separate key on the keyboard that plays it and a separate sound file that it plays. Okay, so write this down. This notes concept an array is an object that can hold many variables and store many values. So basically, it's a box. It's a variable. It's a box in the RAM, but it's filled with multiple boxes. So what we're used to is something like this: string name equals Fred. That should be lower, dang it, that should be lowercase right there. Okay, string name equals Fred. So we have one box that holds one name. Well, if you do this, string names, if you put those little things there, it's telling it, hey, this isn't just one box, this is one box that holds a bunch of boxes, and you can fill it with a bunch of things. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I hate when I find mistakes as I'm going along. Okay, so write this note down. This expression creates the array object and fills it with the strings A to F. We can access individual elements in the array by using an index position number in the array object. Write these notes. We'll talk about this, this index position number. Okay, take these notes. Here we go. So here's what our box looks like now. Instead of one box with one thing, it's one box that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 boxes inside of it. Okay, and the question is, how do so we don't want to use all these letters at once, right? So for the first key we make, we want it to be played when you press A. For the second one, we press B. So we have all these things in one box, but we need to access each individual item, and then we do that with the index number. So for example, if I want the E, well, its index number is 4, so it's going to be, it's called names, right? So it's going to be names 4. The F is names 5. The next one is names 6. Okay, so what is the index number for D? Okay, and what is the index for the string K? Write those answers out. Okay. Creating arrays. All right, these are called parallel arrays. Okay, these things we're doing down below because they match up. All right, well, let me talk about it in a second. Okay, so when we create our key, okay, so anyway, so you're going to create these two arrays. So you're going to create the string, okay, and you're going to create the white keys and the white notes. Okay, so these are two boxes. This is a box that holds a bunch of things. This is the box that holds a bunch of things, and they're parallel because this one's index number is going to be 0. This one's 0. This guy's index number is 1, 1, 2, 2, and so on and so forth, which is super handy because the A goes with a particular key that's going to play 3C. The S is going to play 3D, and so on and so forth. So these two go together, these two go together, these two go together, and the way that you make them go together is that they have the same index number, 0, 1, so on and so forth. Okay, so you're actually going to create these in the piano world, and just like any variable, like an instance variable, they go up at the top. So create these. All right, we can now adapt our loop to make use of our array element. So look, so we have these things, right? But we have to use them. So we actually have to use our loop to add them. So here's the code that's going to do it. So we still have our int I, while I, by the way, we changed this from is greater than 12, white keys.length. What do you think white keys.length is? Well, let's take a look. What's the length of this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The length is 12. So it does the same thing. It's more flexible. We can talk about that individually if you want. Okay, so now take a look at the new code. So we say key. So basically you're saying, hey, I'm going to use a key object, right? That's what we've been building. And we're going to name it key, lowercase. So this is a variable. This is a variable, a box holding with a name of key lowercase. That's going to be holding a key uppercase. Okay, so what are we going to stick in this? Key equals new key, and it's going to be white keys I. Well, the first iteration through our loop, what is I equal to? 0. So white keys I is going to be that, and then it says white notes I, which is going to be that. So you're going to say, hey, the first key is going to play when you play the letter A. Press A, and it's going to play 3c.wave. Notice this. We didn't say. We could have put 3c.wave here, and the author chose to save a little time, just put 3c, and now look, he's adding .wave to each one of them. So notice this, you're using the plus symbol, so you're taking the letters 3c, and you're adding the letters .wave to them. There's a term for that. We'll see that in the next note. Okay. So now what we're going to do, so we have this object being stored in a variable, and now we're saying, hey, add object key lowercase key. So we're saying, all right, we just made this object, we stuck it in a box. Now we're going to actually add that object to the world, and then we're going to place it. Here's how we place it. We talked about that last week. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, what number does this return? While I is less than white keys.length. Okay, answer that on paper. And this plus symbol is used with a string, goes along with this note here. The plus symbol when used with strings stands for string concatenation. So whenever you see the plus symbol, it concatenates things, which means you take letters and put them together. It merges two strings together into one. All right, now what would this? So I'm trying to do this right here. If I had the code white notes 3 plus .wave, what's the new string? What would that create? Answer those questions. Okay, extra. Make the changes just discussed above in your scenario. So I'm going to have you do this. I'm going to have you do this. I'm going to have you do this. Okay. All right, so do this, and then if you want some bonus points, you can do 5.20 and 5.21. Okay. How does this work? I'm supposed to show you from the solution, I guess. Okay. No, I don't want to. Here's a quiz. What is an array? Answer that question. Why does a loop work so well with an array? And how do I access the string C? If I want to get to that, how do I access it? This is kind of a tricky one. Basically what it's saying is this. We're using a loop, and we're using an array. And when people design loops and arrays, they design them to where they work together really well. Okay? What about, there's a particular thing about a loop and array that works really well, and here's a hint of what I'm talking about. It's this I thing. Okay, what about this I works really well with a loop, and this I thing that works really well with an array? Okay, answer those questions. And if you're wondering, I'm actually going to open up something else here and show you some more stuff. Here's a little thing that will help you, so hold on tight. No, I'm not going to show you. I'm just giving up. Never mind.